70 runs.
70
odd runs, yeah.
No one got it.
It was 83 runs
83
they got
for
in the first session.
Tootha.
What match is it?
Okay,
83 in the
so
first session, and they have got
70.
70 runs
In
in
24
the
overs, yeah.
second session.
Is this baseball? Nah. 24 overs at a run rate of 2.9.
Wicketless.
But they had mentioned earlier only that they are playing baseball with brains.
That's cricket.
That is cricket.
Yeah.
So the baseball thing, they are saying that you guys are the ones who are talking about baseball. They never said anything like that. They play according to the situation. When it is there for them to chase, they will chase. When it is for them to play carefully, they'll play.
Is it still in the dictionary?
Yeah.
It gotten added, right?
If it's
They're
in a
showing it.
dictionary or not doesn't matter, it's not in practice.
Yeah.
Ah.
But horrible session for India. Horrible over rate. You only bowled 12 overs an hour. Even with fast bowlers, I understand the over rate will be abysmal, but this is below abysmal when you look at it. You now are looking at only 2.5 hours where you have to bowl close to 51 overs.
41.
41 overs. 2.5 hours.
So how many wickets were you expecting in this session?
I had said 2, he had said 2, you had said 1, and Gulati sir had said 4.
I've lost the match comprehensively. Outclassed.
All have lost comprehensively.
Yeah. But Nikhil sir is the closest, at least.
You said only one more wicket.
One
I said
wicket.
4 more.
But runs wise also we all got it horribly wrong. 70 runs, I think no one predicted that they'll score only 70.
I had said 173 closest.
Yeah, which means about 90 runs. You was again the closest then.
But I mean, this was though I realized there won't be too many runs scored, and the reason I made those predictions is because of the approach of the English batter. But even by England standards, I think they've been a bit more conservative. I know there will be a big talk about England's approach and that, and I was listening to commentary as well, Dinesh Karthik applauding the Indian bowlers for ensuring that England does not play baseball. But I think all of these arguments are, there is a famous शेर in which says मन बहलाने के लिए ख्याल अच्छा है गाले, which means if you want to look at positives, you will find some positives and be happy, and one of those positives is the fact that you've been able to curtail England and their striking rate, and there were various other stats that came about that they've I think let go of 40 deliveries so far in this innings, which is just about 10 less than what they did in the entire test match last time around. So in their entire one inning, I think, or the entire test match, they just let go of 15 deliveries where they just didn't attempt a stroke, and it's already 40 here. But I'm saying you can be happy with this stat that listen, we have ensured that they don't get runs, they're not playing baseball, they're not doing, but then that is just minor consolation. At the end of the day, your purpose today, as I said right at the start, without losing focus of what India would like to achieve, and because we're looking at this test match from India's point of view, I think in a pitch which had something for the bowlers compared to the previous two test matches, I think the bare minimum India would have taken is that let's dismiss them by the end of 80 overs. That would also mean that they would get 300 runs, but dismiss them. At least that would have been your first target. But as things stand right now, you're far away from that target. Not to say that you cannot achieve. 8 wickets have been taken in one final session, and even if you don't take 8 wickets, even if you were to get England down to 7 or 8, by the end of the day, I think your motive is achieved, for which again you need to pick up about good 6 wickets from here. But at the moment, the way England is batting, whether they may be batting by baseball or not, but you're looking at what have they achieved. And I think England, on the other hand, they may not be celebrating the required run rate or the pace at which they're playing, but 153 for 2, the tea would be tasting much sweeter, irrespective of whether they've got cupcakes with it or not, which you usually get in.
No, I actually have seen the approach, because I remember there was one period in which they didn't score for 28 balls at all. They just buckled down, and Root, once he gets in that, I was telling you even in the first session, he's seeing the ball late, he's timing it well. That means he's in that zone.
No, but I want to know, are you also looking at it like glass half full, that okay, at least India have curtailed England's approach, and not too many runs are there, 153 at the end of the day. So you're happy with that, or no? You have sight on what India should be achieving, and that's wickets at the end of the day.
I feel that I'm not looking. I don't feel that glass is half full, because I think England have really set themselves up for a very good first innings total. 153, we were talking about 300, anything between 300, 400 could be a match-winning match-winning total on
What
this
do you
wicket.
see England get from here? Like, what
I
would be
see England get close to 400 from this situation. I know that the kind of the way Oli Pope and Joe Root are batting, I know that they are the only two batters in this batting lineup who can actually play like that and really counter the conditions that are there, because the ball is still swinging, the ball is seaming, and as the ball has gotten older, like we were talking about this fact at the beginning in England, these are typical English conditions. It's just that it's not overcast. And about the Duke's ball, it's been there forever that at the beginning, for first 20 overs approximately, the ball doesn't really swing because there is too much lacquer.
10-12 overs.
Yeah, after 10-12 overs, it starts to swing as one side starts to get rough, and that is exactly what we are seeing now, that the ball has started to get rough, and now Mohammad Siraj is really, it is starting to swing, and Oli Pope and Joe Root are really countering that very well. I know nobody else can actually do that, because maybe Harry Brook not suited for that, Ben Stokes not suited for that, Jamie Smith, we don't know if he will be suited for that or not. But these two batters are somebody who, once they dig in their feet, they're really tough to get past. And Joe Root, I'll be amazed if he does not get a century after this, after reaching 54 at 109 balls, until and unless he does not get a ball like what he received last time around against Akashdeep. Until and unless that doesn't happen, I don't see Joe Root missing out on this golden opportunity of registering his 8th century at Lords.
8th century at Lords, 11th against India. He's gone past 3,000 runs.
Yeah.
Only individual in history to have done that.
So they're in that way, they're just halfway there as far as 300, 350 is concerned. So I am looking at them batting till at least tomorrow lunch, and then getting to 350ish, and then India will really be behind in this test match. And then how Indians counter this at these conditions will be very interesting to see.
I think it's pretty much even Stevens as of now. And I'm going to use the word pretty much. When I say this thing, I think England are like slightly ahead of India, 51 at max, or maybe India 49 here. Because the point is that if you take a look at their openers also, the first wicket fell in the 14th over. So at least, there was some kind of patience that was shown by both the openers there. Although Zach Crawley did go for his shots. But then they both fell. Now you take a look at Oli Pope and Joe Root. Although, they have settled into things, they have stabilized. But if England lose 2 wickets now, immediately in the 3rd session, then you're going to say that it's the Indian team who are on top. So for me, I think it's just because of Oli Pope and Joe Root's partnership.
Okay with 2 wickets in the final session. So you finish with England down for 4.
No, I'm not saying that I'm okay with the 2 wickets in the middle sessions. Yeah, because
how much do you think, if for you it's 50-50,
for now,
for it to remain 50-50, how many wickets do India need to get in the final session?
3. At least 3.
So you're
minimum
saying 5
3
down.
minimum 3 maximum
5 down.
runs.
It will be 50-50.
Yeah, I think I'll be okay with it.
So if there's a good chance if let's say they get 3 wickets, let's go with what Siddharth is saying, and even if they bat at a conservative rate here, you're still looking at about 260 odd that they end up at the end of the day's play. So 260 for 5, you're okay with that. That's a 50-50 game for you.
Yeah.
I would not even say 260 for that matter. I think the rate at which they are scoring, obviously they can accelerate. That's obviously a possibility. But I still feel that India would know that they can still have their noses ahead immediately in the third session if they can get both these
whatever they may
wickets.
do, but 260 will, even if they bat it conservatively, even if you try to bat slowly, you're not looking at anything less than 250.
250, 255 odd, yeah, that's what you said.
That's like the minimum that a team will get, even if they are conservative. So I'm assuming whatever you do, England will be sitting at 250, 260, conservative estimate.
Yeah.
Now your choice is how many wickets you would want India to have, right? That is what you'll have. You can't restrict them to 200. That's not possible. This is the biggest session that's coming up. You have an extra half an hour. So whatever England achieve, even if they bat conservative, they are looking at a minimum of around 260 odd. Yes, they could be 260 for 2, 260 for 3, 260 for 4, 260 for 5, 260 for 6, 260 for 7. It could be anything. So what is it that India would want to achieve? You can't get them to settle for anything less than that in terms of scoring rate. That's not possible.
See, I'm looking at it through the glass half empty, half full bit, because they haven't allowed England to get away totally. But yes, they will be very, very disappointed with the fact that they didn't take more wickets. But this is how Lords always plays. There is a session in which the pitch will flatten out. You will score runs as well. You will hang in there. That's what the pitch offers you. In this way, I am glad that they have dished out a typical Lords flat deck, wherein first session will always be spicy.
No, but it's not that. I see, if it was flat, they would have been batting baseball. They're not batting baseball. So that's why I'm saying this. We need to be, mindful of the fact. The reason that you're complimenting England right now is of the discipline that they've shown. Yeah. This is a pitch where I would have assumed they would have lost 2 wickets. I think there is help there for the bowlers. The fact that they've not lost those 2 wickets, which I would have wanted, that goes on to show the kind of discipline that the English batters have shown. So if it was a flat track, then I think I wouldn't have taken this. I think I would have been more critical of England, saying, flat pitch, what are you guys doing? You're sitting at 150 at the tea time. That
and
is
at 260
below par.
for 5, at 260 for 5, then England would be just 40, 50 or at max 100 runs away from, having that above par total in the first innings. Because I feel 350.
But India will also be in the game. See, I think India...
At 350.
Yeah, they will.
They will be in the game, but the batting is... I totally agree, and plus the confidence that they are carrying from the previous games. But conditions, these are conditions that we haven't seen till now. Again, I get back to...
Yeah, but it's also not Centurion type. That's what my point is.
Yeah.
See, again, I think the Indian batting, you're right, will be tested. But with Keeper, because they find it very difficult to get adjusted to these alien conditions, or there is a possibility that India really step up and go past that and set up the game nicely. That will be dependent on how India takes. But for starters, their job is, and at least that's what it felt like, because remember when Shuman said that he would want to bowl, that they, in their minds, they don't want England to go beyond 320.
Yeah.
I think in their minds that would be the first former. If they go past 320, then India know they have a task at hand. They will have to really bat well. It's not to say that India cannot go past it, but they'll know they're up against it.
Because this is the first time that this will be happening now. Because in Leeds, Edgbaston, they batted first and then they knew, okay, how we can dictate terms to the opposition, but it's not happening at Lords. So, see, Lords, what it happens is, I go back to 2011. Hope the result doesn't go in that way, because see, you remember 2 wickets we took very early on in the session. We unfortunately had an injury in Zair Khan, and the session and the test and the series went from bad to worse from there. Here you've shown discipline, but again, Lords, why do I say it will flatten out as the game progresses? Now, if they accelerate in the final innings, in the final session, then I think India will panic. They have not started to panic as of now. But yes, Root, you have to get rid of him.
I think both of them, for that matter.
No, see, with Root, why did I say that in Edgbaston? Forget about the others. You need to get Root out quickly, because he was the guy who could have hung in when you had a drawish like situation. You got rid of Root. That's it. The game was blown wide open. Here, get Root out, because if he scores big at Lords, then he has a
Which he does.
It's just not 100. It's a daddy 100. That's the problem with Joe Root.
67th half century is just reached overall. 67th.
He's only 130 away from getting into the top 3 of Test cricket. Because Jack Callis 13-2-8-9, Dravid 13-2-8-8, he's 13-1-6-7. My goodness.
That will more than likely happen this series.
Yeah.
This innings also possible.
130
Could
should
be
happen.
This game
This test
itself.
match
Could be this
itself.
test
I was
match.
being
also.
on
Could be
the
this
safer
innings
side.
also.
Yeah.
He has to have a awful series to get to 130 runs by the end of
He needs to have
oval
a,
test.
But batters like Joe Root, Steve Smith, Virat Kohli, these batters, once they start scoring runs, I don't see them not scoring runs after
why
that.
do you
They-
leave out Kane Williamson?
even Kane
Poor guy.
Williamson, because Kane Williamson,
Kane Williamson has a
debate-
star mark attached to him, na,
and-
home conditions.
and we also
Yeah.
debate a lot on him. But these three batters, I feel once they start scoring runs in the series, the later they start, the better it is for the opposition. Because once they start scoring, I don't see them not scoring runs after that.
Are you worried about India's bowling plans and the toothlessness of the attack that we've seen?
Mohammad
so far?
Siraj has gone back to the old Mohammad Siraj, drifting down on leg. That is something that we've seen with Mohammad Siraj all throughout. But
You didn't give him the new ball, na? You didn't trust in him. See, he's a confidence bowler.
but later now it's swinging even more now.
But he's a confident bowler.
You know, more than the toothlessness of the Indian bowling, I'm worried about Rishabh Pant's injury.
Uh,
That finger
okay,
injury.
But I've heard he's okay.
Yeah, there is a
doesn't
news
look like
that
he's serious.
he's fine and there's nothing serious
Because
about it.
it is his left hand, I think, that got hit the fingertips.
No, I was just chatting with someone. I think he's okay.
Thank
Yeah.
goodness for that.
In the dressing room, you were.
No, there's only in dressing room you get to know. Dressing room phones are not allowed.
Yeah, those two.
Someone who's at
No,
the
but
ground.
news. Oh,
Thank goodness. That is even more. That would have been
I
worrisome.
thought that
imagine
he's-
Pant not
he's
able
fine,
to-
he's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, see, we were all worried, right? What if they play Bumrah out well? See,
Yeah,
ever
doing
since
that.
Leeds' first innings, he's not yet taken a wicket.
Yeah, I was reading some 38 overs since he's taken a wicket.
that is there with Bumrah. People do go after him once he's not.
Imagine
Because we
they-
start
I'm
only
not-
38
Why
overs.
should you go after him or not or anything? I'm just stating a fact that he bowled 20 odd overs in the last innings
19
of the
overs and
first
no-
test match,
yeah.
and then the remaining overs here. So if you add,
Yeah.
and must have been a few overs.
4-5 overs in the
there
first
it is.
innings also, I think, yeah. 38 overs or no
38.
wickets.
No,
for
that was
Jasprit
38
Bumrah.
was a few overs ago. I don't know whether he's added on to that.
Terrible. So that's why, see, but I think more surprising has been the sudden wane from the wane of Akashdeep.
That's cricket.
Even here, I mean, see, he did create some chances. I mean, if you look at it, whenever he pitched it slightly up, they got an inside edge that rolled to the onside and all of that. But
And he's been expensive.
he's
too.
been expensive. That's the worry for me. I don't know what's happened. Bumrah, 1.6, okay, 5 overs. You played him out for 12 runs. I think 10 runs in this spell. 5 overs for 10 runs. But you're reaching that
His
period where you have
economy
to bowl.
during lunch was 1.80. Now it's dropped even more.
The one good
1.60.
thing is that we were talking about, will he be pushed extra? Are you overburdening Bumrah? So at least with just 5 overs in this session, he's well rested. So you can now utilize the quota because there's only limited overs that he can bowl in a day. Now for the final session.
It's written now these many overs only he can bowl. So
Oh.
in
Is
that
it?
sense,
Where is it?
I've heard.
Breaking news.
He hears a lot of
Nitish
things.
Reddy has bowled more overs than Shardul Thakur. He's bowled 11, 6 he had already bowled in the previous test, 17.
Sir, he's-
Thakur bowled total 16.
He's going to play the whole series now. After these 2 wickets.
After 2 wickets.
Yeah, that's for sure. Not just this series, many series
No,
to come in the years.
No. These guys are not that lucky, which is unfortunate because, at the end of the day, his runs will be counted. He'll have to get on the scoreboard getting runs.
Yeah, 30s,
Bowling the
40s.
wicket, Shardul also took 2 wickets, but then he was dropped the next match
Nitish,
because he didn't score with the bat.
Yeah. Nitish only has 1/3 of the runs that Shardul has had in one test, by the way. He scored only 1 and 1. Shardul at least scored 6 runs. He's only got 2 runs.
Yeah.
That is why it's not. I think this session, if you don't take 2-3 wickets, you've had it. You're playing catch up then in this whole test match.
Okay, so quick predictions. If a wicket is falling, who's the first one to go?
Joe Root.
Pope.
Pope for me as well.
Pope, I don't know why I'm feeling scary for me. Pope, because Pope also once he starts
You are
to...
scared for Pope or
Scared.
Pope is scaring you?
Pope is scaring me, sorry.
Acha, that you mean he's coming up with a big one.
Could be a
No,
possibility.
between Root and Pope any day, I'll pick Pope.
Yeah,
be the
I'm
guy
just
who
going
will be
by my
dismissed.
feeling, gut
Ah,
feeling.
gut feeling.
Yeah, gut
Oh, okay. So Root is going early. That means no 100 coming.
Yeah.
Your gut feeling is telling
Yeah.
you. That's good.
No. I'm not saying big 100 isn't coming.
So
He'll
you are
also go to
saying
100.
Root will get out first, but he's getting 100 also. That
Yeah.
means Pope is getting.
Pope is
top.
getting a big 100.
He's becoming a top.
Pope
Oh
is
my
getting
God.
a
Your
top.
gut feeling
Root is not getting uprooted.
Gut feeling, I don't want to listen to Shashwat.
Yeah.
Yes. Is Root getting 100?
I'm saying that Root is getting out early, which means
Which
he's
he
not.
is also saying, but he's still
No, but
saying
Root is
100.
not getting 100. No,
Ah.
no.
He's also saying that Root
About
is getting
80
out.
odd. 80 odd.
I'll be very surprised if Root doesn't get 100.
Yeah, I'd be surprised.
54.
Too. From here,
looks
he doesn't
ominous.
let go. That's why I think.
That's
Pope
why
is-
he's the greatest.
If this was
he's
20,
no, who said?
I said
That's a
in-
debate.
Yeah.
If
In
it
Test
was-
cricket.
Arguably.
if it was
Arguably the
pre-COVID Root, then you could argue, okay, he won't convert it into 100 because he had the worst conversion rate amongst the Fab Four. But post-COVID Root just gobbles up.
He's head
100
and
so
shoulders
far.
above. Head and shoulders.
Okay, and predictions?
I'll go with the one that we discussed like during our chat here just a few minutes back. I'll go for 260 odd for 5.
So it means 100.
I think
Gone.
Gone.
Oh,
first
gone.
Pope.
Pope. I told you, Pope will go first.
Yeah.
And I was,
gone.
honest to God, I was going to say Spinner will get him.
Yeah.
Because, he,
should
sometime against spinners, he's winning.
Because I think that one delivery with pitched on middle and spun away viciously,
Let's
that
say
played on the spot.
Jadeja.
was
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
very
yeah.
good catch.
And the same way he got beaten couple of times by Jadeja only.
And a very good
Yeah,
catch.
yeah,
And is
Jurel,
it
huh?
DJ who's
Yeah,
still
Jurel,
keeping?
Jurel.
Yeah.
you get one more wicket and then
Very
I think India are on
surprising
top.
suddenly
What a
coming
start.
on.
I'll make a change to my prediction. 260 odd for 6. I said 5, but now 6.
Okay, 260 odd for 6.
Yeah.
Okay.
255 for 7.
Whoa.
I think India's making
That's going to
comeback.
be a good day for India then.
I think 250 for 5. 250 for 5.
255 for 7 for me.
Yeah, I'd also go 5. And they get to about 275
Okay, so they will score
275 for
120
5.
plus runs in
and
this session.
5 down.
120 for 2 in this
Yeah,
session then
yeah.
for you.
Okay, we'll see how the
11
game
o'clock.
pans out.
Yes.
11 o'clock.
It's not going to end at 10.
It's definitely 11 o'clock.
Definitely it's not ending.
Even
at
if both Jadeja and Sundar continue to bowl.
10. No, then it will end at
No,
10.
we can meet them earlier. What if England
They're
is all
bowled
out?
out. Yes.
How can they bowl 41 overs in 2?
Are bowled out?
in
Say
2 overs?
bowled out.
10:25.
Bowled out, then it's a different.
10:25 England are bowled out. Or
Possible.
10:40.
Or if at
No,
10,
if they are bowled out at 10:40, then it stumps. Then you are not
exactly.
going to.
and if at 11
Yeah.
they are 9 out.
No, at 10:40 no.
No, because that's an additional time, na? If 10:40 you're
No,
bowled.
no. So
No. You
will
play
have to
until
come out.
11.
If
I
it
think
is,
it's a 10-minute
yeah,
change of
turn-
innings.
And will you get further
I
extension
think
if
450 beyond.
no, if they are 8 out at 10:50? So
No.
11:30.
Back to
Unless
That's
you
already
are pushing
extended.
for a win or other
Yeah.
sessions have been marred by rain. Then and only then you
No,
get
if
an
they are 8 down for 250, they'll declare, na?
They have done it in the past. Yeah. Birmingham, what a brain fade that.
We'll see you guys.
See you at 11. Bye bye.
Take care.